Hi, and welcome to another edition of Don't Waste Money on Promotional Products. My name is John Ray, CAS. What I want to talk to you about this week is the market segments, or one particular market segment. Now, according to the 2007 sales survey about promotional product, the two largest segments were wearables, which was the largest with 30.71% of the market, and by the second segment was writing instruments, which represented 10.39%. Now, although the wearables is much higher, of course the unit price of the wearables is also much higher. So by volume, by unit volume, the actual largest segment of the market is taken by the writing instruments segment. What do we mean by writing instruments? Well, we're talking about pens, pencils, crayons, highlighters, gel pens, automatic feed pencils, anything that falls in, anything you can write with basically, even chalk, comes into that writing instrument category. So let's examine a little more closely. We're going to look at one case history which involves the use of a pen. Her original request was for 2,000 cheap pens, and it came in by phone one morning in the middle of last year. You get those days where things aren't going to go right, and this actually had started out as one of those. The phone rings, you take the call, you're told it's someone looking for some pens for their company. Okay, you get the lady on the phone, first time you've spoken to her, and she says to you, give me a price on some cheap pens. I want 2,000 cheap pens for my company. So the immediate thought flashes through my mind, why on earth don't you think, do you want cheap pens? Don't you think very much of your company? The only problem was, as it turned out a few minutes later, or a few seconds later, was that I hadn't actually thought it, I'd actually spoken it. The problem was I now had a very irate client, a potential client, nearly an ex-client on the end of the phone. But after a few minutes of explaining to her what I meant by that, she was able to realize that the products that she was going to be giving away represented her company to her potential clients. And a cheap product can often, used in the wrong way, give a bad representation of your company. So I asked her, why do you want 2,000 pens? Well, she said, I'm going to an exhibition, I've got £500 left out of my budget, and we have been told by the exhibition organisers that there's going to be 2,000 visitors to the show, so I want to give them all one of my pens. So I said, well, that in theory is great, but are they going to actually respond? I said, have you ever been to a show and been given a pen where it's a cheap pen and what's happened to it at the end? She said, oh yes, I see what you mean. She said, they're normally in the bag. I said, that's right. So there's absolutely no point in giving her, or in giving away at a show a cheap pen to everybody that comes past. First of all, less than 12% of the people coming past your stand are going to, or coming towards your stand, are going to be interested in the products that you're offering, or the service you're offering. So you have to be realistic about the number of people that you can speak to. I asked her what were the specifics of the show. For example, how many hours a day was the show open? 6 hours. Fine. How many days was the show on? 2 days. How many people on the stand? 2 people. And how many minutes per client or potential client was she hoping to spend? And it was going to be around about 5 minutes per customer. So we did some simple maths. 5 minutes per customer gives you 12 per hour. Times 6 hours is 72. Times 2 people per day, 144. Times 2 days, 288. So she could not expect to give away, realistically, more than 288 pens. Now, in practice, that doesn't work. Those numbers don't really add up. And that's very simple, because you don't get the people on the stand the moment you open the doors of the show. It takes some time for them to filter through to your stand. somebody's got to have a break, somebody's got to go to the loo, somebody has to go for lunch or have a cup of coffee or a drink of water, something, but you have to take a break in that 6-hour period. It's almost impossible to go right through without any break. We know the maximum she can give away is 288, but in realistic terms it's probably going to be closer to 75 a day between the two of them. So about 144, maybe 140, 150, at most 175 over the 2-day period. So that gives her a number of options. She can either buy 175 or say 200 items and have a very much improved value product. So rather than giving away a cheap pen at 25p which will end up in a drawer somewhere or in the bottom of a bag, she could look at something which was maybe £2 or £3, have the same spend as she would have had, the £500 budget, but get better results, a better return on investment. But as I explained to her, it is not just about the show. She's got to do follow-up. Now, when she goes to meet these people after the show, she does have to think in terms of taking something in to the customer or this potential new contact when she goes into the meeting. Now, wouldn't it be nice if she had some more of the value product that she was showing on the stand? It shows a little element of continuity to be using as the same professional product. So what we actually suggested was a 500 pens that she was going to be able to purchase well within the £500. So we're looking at a budget of well under £1 a pen, but a product that they are going to want to keep, they're going to want to put in their pocket, they're going to want to take out, and in all probability will last them quite some time. What did she do? We ordered the 500 Prodir pens, had them printed with her logo and her advertising message. She took them to the show. They cost her under £500. She gave away about 162 at the show over the 2 days, so well within our 150 to 175 margin that we'd spoken about prior to the show. She was able then to use these in follow-up calls and on other new calls that she went to. She was getting an extremely good reaction, and in 9 times out of 10 when she was going to visit the clients, they were actually using the product. She's had success with these. She had a very good return on investment. Of the 162 people she saw at the show, she has since been able to follow up with 97 of them with firm appointments. She said to me that it's one of the most successful shows she's been to, and she's absolutely delighted. Now, as a result of this, we've used a number of other promotional items to help her with specific areas of promotion within her company. I hope you found that example useful, that case history. The product itself, as I said, is a superb product. It is viewable through our promotional website at www.promotional-product.co.uk. Don't forget there's no S on that, www.promotional-product.co.uk. And from me, John Ray, CAS, thanks for watching. Don't waste money on promotional products, and we'll see you next week.